What's going on, guys? It's Rusty here, and I've realized I forgot to talk about where I got this bike from. But if you want to get yourself a bike like this, head on over to redfoxpowersports.com. It's $1,200. It's where I got my bike. So if you want to buy your bike from somewhere you somewhat know is trustworthy, I bought it from here, and it came in just fine and everything. So go ahead and check them out if that's what you want.
What's going on, guys? It's Rusty here, and today we're back with a little bit of a different episode. Obviously, I'm not at my computer playing games right now because I'm out here with this thing. So I just got this pretty recently. Let me turn it on for you guys real quick and I can show you guys. Oh God, I don't know if you can actually even see that. But I have 42.1 miles on it. So I haven't rode around that much, but I wanted to go ahead and give my honest review on it. So far, it's driven pretty good. I don't have many complaints about it. The assembly was pretty easy. One of the main things that I would say is the front axle, or yeah, this bolt right here, the front axle right here was put through the frame. So that was the first thing that you immediately see when you open up the box, is that the front wheel and tire are off of it, and this bolt right here just needs to be taken out, and then you lift the front end of the bike up and you can go ahead and slide the axle or the bolt through the tire so you can get that on. One of the other things that was unassembled was this here, the rear shock. This bolt right down in here, that was taken, that was disconnected. So the shock was kind of just dangling there. Other than that, honestly, the assembly was pretty easy. Handlebars were taken off, but it was just simple. Take these 4 bolts out and slide it in there, make sure it's where you want it, and tighten them puppies down, and it's on there. It's ridden pretty good. Now, because it is so new, the gearing is really funny. It doesn't really want to go into neutral. That's the first thing that you'll notice, is it doesn't really want to go into neutral. You can never get it into neutral. But once you work these, you work the gear and stuff, it'll go into neutral easier once you put more miles on it and stuff. Now, I will say that the clutch has been acting really funny. When you pull the clutch all the way in, it's supposed to, to allow you to shift gears and stuff and whatnot. I don't even know, probably like 20 miles on it. I had taken it to the mall with one of my friends, well, actually to Best Buy with one of my friends, and he was in a car and he was following me, and all of a sudden the clutch just wasn't working. Like, I could pull the clutch all the way in and there was absolutely no work with it. It just immediately would die as soon as I pulled that in. And then from there on, to get it home, all I could do was sit there and just as soon as I electric start this thing, as soon as you electric start it, you just immediately have to take off. Otherwise, it would just immediately die. And then shifting there on, I couldn't use the clutch. I pulled it in, but it wasn't working. So the whole time I was shifting that thing, it was just not engaging the clutch or disengaging. So it was like hard shifting and stuff. Not good for the bike, but it kind of is what it is. But once I got it home, I just adjusted this thing up here, just undid it a little bit, and it started to work again. Well, then, even after that, about another 10 miles later, it just started messing with me again. So I even came down in here, this thing right here, that thing right there. I don't know if you can really, it's so hard to record this, but I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little gap in it where I adjusted that, and that's your clutch as well. And you can adjust that, and it should therefore start working better. But it didn't really seem to do much, because even after that, I thought I had it, but it still didn't really seem like it wanted to engage or disengage the clutch like it should. So I will say one thing that helped this bike out so much was spraying about right here in this area, just basically this whole thing right here in WD-40, or you could use PB Blaster, any kind of like oil type based stuff. Just spray this here and it makes the clutch work so much better. And I also sprayed right here on this and up in here, back there against the engine. So that way the that shifts a little easier. The bike has shifted easier. The bike has, the clutch works so much better. So just stuff like that makes the bike, I mean, just so much better. I just noticed that. That's awesome. So plastic broke up here. I will say another thing. When I got the bike, this right here, I mean, I scraped it all up right there, but this right here, the nut, there's a nut on the back side of it, and they had that nut on all crooked. So this was just loose and the plastics were flapping and everything. All I had to do is obviously just take that nut off on the back and make sure it was straight on there and just tighten it on, and it works great now. Just noticed that other side was scratched and stuff. And I will say, out of the 42 miles that I have on it or whatever, I obviously, you can tell, this foot brake is just bent. It's supposed to be straight, and it also touches the engine right there. I hit a pole with it. I was up next to a pole. I went to pull a wheelie on it, or I actually went to do a burnout, and it caught real good, and I was too close to a pole, and so the handlebar hit the, smashed my finger in between the pole and that handlebar, and then bent this. It caught right here and just bent it all out of whack. Still works fine and everything, just messed it up a little bit. I'll have to bend that back. And then the night afterwards, I think it was, maybe 2 days later, I was at work, just out inside working or whatever, and I had some other coworker come up to me and ask if I had the Grom, Honda Grom clone. And I said, yeah, that's mine. And she was like, well, it had fallen over in the wind, and it broke, and she said, and all the gas leaked out. And then when I came out and realized it, this had completely broken. Like, as you can tell, that's supposed to have a little knob on the end of it. It no longer has a knob on the end of it. It is broken. So that kind of sucks. Still works great and everything though. I will say as well, when I got the bike, I was riding it around for a little while, and it was just putting. Like, it acted like it wasn't getting gas. And so basically, to fix that, if I can get this out, okay, the key's not supposed to come out of it when it's, yikes. I don't know if you can tell, there's a little pinhole right here that I had to poke in the side of the gas tank. Yeah, I can't really move it or anything to let you guys see, but I just poked a little pinhole in the side of the gas tank, and that allowed it to get gas, because unfortunately with these bikes, there is no way for airflow in this gas tank. So the only way to get the airflow is to poke a hole in the side of the top of the tank. You don't want to poke it anywhere else. That'll cause big problems if you try to poke it anywhere else. Because if you try to poke it in like the side of the gas tank or whatever, obviously, if you fill it too much, fill the gas tanks too much, it's just going to start leaking gas. So the best thing to do is just poke it up there. If you do get one of these bikes, just poke a hole right up there at the top. It works great. Haven't had any problems with it really since. It's gonna be hard to get this thing in. Oh, okay, I was gonna say with only one hand, but I went ahead and used both. Also, when you get this bike, I think they use like a shipping oil. So what you're gonna wanna do is change the oil in it almost immediately. I rode it around like 10 miles on the oil, and it was fine, but you will wanna change the oil. So I'm gonna get down here and show you guys what not to do, because I did it and made a huge mistake. So this right here is your oil. They put it right next to the exhaust pipe. I mean, like, I don't know if you can tell, but that is right up next to the exhaust pipe. And so you have to work in there and get it off, or get it, get it out, and then the oil will come out. Do not, I'm trying to get the camera there. Do not take this one out. There's 2 bolts down here. Do not take this one out. This one is, I'm not exactly sure even what it is, but it shoots out a piston and a spring. So when I took this off, a little bit of oil came out, and then a spring and piston just came shooting out onto the ground. And yeah, you don't want to do that, because if you don't put it back in there right, it could really mess up the whole thing. I will say that after I did that, it was pretty easy to kind of find out how it went back in there, because when you go to put it back in there, there's one end of the piston is black, a solid black, and one end of the piston has like a little pinhole in the top of it, and then there's holes all along this or like through the piston, and the holes in the side of the piston. And so I just used my best judgment and figured that the pinhole would obviously go up into the engine, and so that way it like puts oil through the piston and everything, or whatnot it's supposed to do. I don't even know what it is. It's just a rod, a piston or a rod about this long. I don't know if you can tell how long that is, but and then once you put that back in there, you put the spring back up in there and tighten that bolt back on there, and it has run fine. I will say, when it started, like the gas, when it started acting like it wasn't getting gas and stuff, I honestly thought I really messed up the bike because of that. But then I realized that that's oil, and the oil is not going to do that to the bike. It was just not getting gas, so I just had to fix that. But honestly, this bike looks great. Looks just like a Honda Grom. I am in love with the bike. It rides well. So far, just great. I've seen other people, they've had problems with the back axles being bent and everything. I have not noticed mine yet. But other than that, I think I've covered everything. I think, honest review of the bike, it's working good. I like it. Could definitely use some working in. When you get one of these bikes, they're just brand new, and they're rugged, and you just have to work it in. So when you get the bike, don't worry if it seems like it's not really working right. What you're gonna wanna do is just keep driving it, put those miles on there. Just like I said about the gearing system, if you don't put enough miles on the bike, it's not gonna wanna shift right. It's not gonna wanna go into neutral. The gearing is so rigid and sharp still that it catches really easy, and so it doesn't wanna slide into that neutral. It just wants to skip to first or second. So best thing to do is just put the miles on it. I would say definitely oil this thing up. All of these mechanics, like the shifting up here, inside here, like I said, and the clutch over here on the other side, this thing right here, oil that up, oil all this up. And even if you want to take off all of this and hang this thing upside down and just put in your WD-40 all the way through the clutch system. You could put it all the way up, you know. I sprayed it right here a little bit too. I don't know if that really did much, but just spray it all up with WD-40 and the thing will work so much better. I promise you. So honestly, guys, this bike, honest review, good bike. Definitely, I feel as if it is worth it, because this is, I spent $1,200 and got this shipped to my door. And I mean, a Honda Grom to go pick up from a dealership is like $3,400. So this is way less than half the price, and I've had some fun on it. I haven't done anything really, obviously, as you can tell, I only have 42 miles on it. Haven't really rode it around. I've basically just taken it to work and back, and that's literally all I've done on it. Rode it around a little bit here and there. But I am recording this video, and hopefully, this is being recorded on Friday, and hopefully I'm going to be able to take this bike out and ride with one of my friends on Tuesday. I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna go. It's supposed to rain Tuesday, but I'm gonna take this back up to my hometown, hopefully in my truck, if I can get it going. It's got transmission problems and stuff, but if I can get it going, I'm gonna take this bike back up to my hometown, and I'm gonna ride around with one of my good buds. So if you guys did enjoy this review and found it helpful, drop a like, help me with my analytics and getting this YouTube video out there for people. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see me riding. I also play games. If you haven't seen my other videos, I play video games. I record them, but if you guys are more interested in the bike stuff, you know, I will start doing the bike stuff as well on top of that. So if you guys do feel like seeing any of that, check out my channel, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.